Hello, Bloomington. I'm Mayor Tim Bussey, and this is the Council Minute for the week of February 6th. On Monday night, the City Council received an update from Melissa Madison, the Executive Director of the I-494 Corridor Commission. The 494 Corridor Commission is a joint powers organization focused on transportation improvements on, you guessed it, Interstate 494. Bloomington was one of the founding communities back in 1986, along with Richfield, Edina, Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, and Plymouth. All of those cities are still together in this effort, except for Plymouth. The Commission's goal has always been to improve 494 through work on two key areas. First, advocating for regional transit, bikeways, and roadway improvements, and also promoting remote work arrangements, transit use, carpooling, and van pooling. So a couple of statistics for you. 19% of the Twin Cities metro area population lives on the 494 corridor. And there are more than 313,000 jobs located on or near the corridor. That's 1 out of every 5 jobs in the metro area. And it's more than the number of jobs in the downtowns of Minneapolis and St. Paul combined. The 494 Corridor Commission is one of a number of commissions and boards that the city is part of. Other transportation-related groups include the 35W Solutions Alliance, the Highway 169 Corridor Coalition, the Riverview Corridor Policy Advisory Committee, and the Noise Oversight Committee, which deals with airport noise issues. These groups are important. Obviously, speaking with a collective voice on any issue is far more powerful than speaking individually. I also love that these groups bring Bloomington together with communities as different as Elko New Market, Lakeville, Jordan, Minneapolis, and St. Peter. Now, as a city, Bloomington doesn't have a whole lot in common with Jordan. But working together on a common goal builds trust, it demands consensus, and it goes a long way toward breaking down some of the stereotypes or misconceptions that might exist. More broadly, Bloomington elected officials and staff participate and take leadership roles in a wide range of city-related organizations. Groups like the League of Minnesota Cities, the American Public Works Association, the City Engineers of Minnesota, the Chiefs of Police Association, the National Forum for Black Public Administrators, the Clerks and Finance Officers Association, and many, many others. All of these offer valuable benefits like advocacy, training, and peer networking. I appreciate the time and the effort that goes into Bloomington's participation in these organizations. We'll look for more opportunities to highlight some of these relationships again in the future. Also on Monday night, the City Council amended City Code and rezoned a number of parcels to create a new Transitional Industrial Zoning District along Lyndale Avenue. The Transitional Industrial Zoning District, also known as a TI district, is a key implementation strategy associated with the Lyndale Avenue Suburban Retrofit Plan. Some quick background. As you all know, Lyndale Avenue is one of Bloomington's original commercial corridors. It developed mostly between 1950 and 1970, and it serves the entire city. But it also functions as a neighborhood main street and a front door to a variety of residents, businesses, and employers. There's still plenty of activity in the corridor, but I think we'd all agree that Lyndale is showing its age and not realizing its full potential. So back in April of 2021, the City Council adopted the Lyndale Avenue Suburban Retrofit Plan to help put Lyndale Avenue in a better position to respond to changing needs and to ensure the avenue's future economic sustainability and vitality. Now, if you remember, community outreach and engagement was an important part of the plan. That included a community visioning event, a community design workshop. The process also included a lot of discussion at the Planning Commission and here at the City Council. The goal is to ultimately transform Lyndale Avenue into a thriving, walkable, mixed-use corridor. That includes improving and expanding pedestrian, bicycle, and transit options, improving the appearance and the environmental sustainability of the corridor, creating places for people to gather and connect, and strengthening connections between Lyndale Avenue and surrounding neighborhoods. And the sweet spot in all of this is to do all of that while preserving the unique history and character of Lyndale Avenue while encouraging new opportunities and experiences. The City Council actions on Monday night were policy-oriented. We made a variety of amendments to City Code, establishing the TI zoning district, and added standards for development intensity, site design, setbacks, drive-throughs, and refuse and solid waste collection. We also rezoned 28 lots along the east side of Lyndale Avenue between 86th and 92nd Streets from general industry to transitional industrial. Doing those things will allow uses like residential, retail, indoor recreation, entertainment, and cultural amenities to develop in the area. Now, while the changes don't feel exactly earth-shattering right now, they all support and encourage the goals that I mentioned earlier. This is a long-term plan that's going to take some time, and it is certainly going to be influenced by evolving market conditions. But by ensuring that the changes we made Monday night support the Lyndale Avenue Suburban Retrofit Plan, I absolutely believe Lyndale Avenue is in a good position to succeed in the years to come. Finally today, raise your hand if at some time in your past you worked as an intern. I certainly did. I had plenty of jobs during high school and even into college, but it wasn't until I worked for 3 months in an internship that I really started to get a better idea of what my career path might look like. Now, we know that Bloomington employers, big and small, are looking for good workers to fill good jobs. We also know that internships help young people gain experience, explore a possible career path, develop skills, build some confidence, and ultimately make some money. Now, at the intersection of those two things is a new program just launched by the City of Bloomington called Bloom in Bloomington. Bloom in Bloomington is a youth workforce program offering young people aged 16 to 24 summer internship experiences. The goal is to support and grow a more diverse and accessible workplace for our community. We do that by matching young people with employers in local government, nonprofit, and the private sectors. A program like this meets the needs of both employers and possible employees, and frankly, it makes good sense. Unfortunately, there wasn't a comprehensive program in place that aligned the needs and resources of our Bloomington schools and businesses and the community at large. So back in the fall of 2021, Bloom in Bloomington was conceived as part of the equity and inclusion priority that was embedded in the Racial Equity Business Plan. The goal was to provide a more diverse workforce by creating and cultivating a citywide internship program. The program is open to young people aged 16 to 24 years old, and applicants must live in Bloomington or attend high school or college in the city. City staff will review applications, interview applicants, and place interns with employers. Special consideration will be given to applicants who are or who will be the first in their families to receive a high school diploma, college degree, or a graduate degree, as well as students who are eligible for free or reduced lunch in high school. There's an 8-week program designed for current high school students that pays a minimum of $15 an hour, and a 12-week program for young people who are at least 18 years old with a high school diploma or an equivalent who may or may not be attending college. Those opportunities pay a minimum of $20 per hour. Applications for the program opened on February 1st and close on March 12th. So you still have time to share this information with the young people in your life, but please don't wait. The Bloom in Bloomington website has all of the details on how to apply. And if you're a business looking for interns, we would love to talk to you. Here in Bloomington, we are blessed with abundant resources like outstanding schools, a strong business community, a passionate and creative city staff, residents who care deeply about the community, and some pretty impressive young people. And if we bring all of that together through Bloom in Bloomington or through countless other possible endeavors, there is really no limit to the things we can achieve as an enduring and remarkable community. That's a wrap on this week's Council Minute. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.